1966, right? When they decided to concentrate all powers at the center and make a single person, a single individual, the most powerful person. It's already proved one to you recently by removing a democratically elected government. You all know the reason why it got away with that. You can't run a country like that. So they have always all been talking about devolvement of power. Let's devolve power. Let the regions have access to their resources and pay tax to the center. All those ideas. The reason why they never wanted that to, they don't even want to try it anymore, right? Is because it is easier this way to share the supposed people's resources among themselves, enrich themselves, cover it up, and enjoy their loot after. If Nigeria should break into this kind of path, first thing first, you won't have 36 state governors. You hardly have probably maybe 6. And if you like, you can call them governor, you can call them regional administrators, you can give them any title that makes it pretty much like less flamboyant like than what you have right now. So do you know how much you're going to save from that? And yeah, let everybody get creative with the resources in their own different regions. These are ideas that can help cut down the size of government, make government job make politics unattractive in that sense, where people think they could go and make money. And if anybody becomes a rogue, or any group of people becomes a rogue in your region, you can vote them out. They don't have the national Abuja military and INEC. No, you're going to conduct your election in your place, and you are going to declare the winner in your place. So if anybody rigs you, you're going to sort it the way you choose to sort it, to resolve it in your own place. There won't be anybody sending some military men or other security officials that doesn't even speak your language in order to come and quell you, in order to empower criminals to take over your place. So that won't be the issue of national security as well. Will become like, because your nation will be your region enough that you do everything to protect your people, won't you? You have the chance of raising your own, national guard, being a local guard, arm them to the till, defend your territory enough that nobody can interfere from outside to influence the type of security you should have or compromise your security architecture. These are the ideas that ordinarily people believe that would help. But the downside is the fact that Nigeria is a country where the reason for our existence today also is because it is a country that they rob Peter to pay Paul. So they have convinced, especially some of the northern states, they've convinced themselves and their people, right, that if Nigeria breaks in that regard, or true federalism is practiced in that sense, that northern Nigeria will suffer. But the thing is, Nigeria has been together for a while now, right? The northern Nigeria takes quite a chunk of their resource. Their allocation. They take a handful of that, but yet they've never really done anything to reduce the level of poverty among their people, coupled with the insecurity. And I'm not blaming just them. I'm talking about I'm just kind of like pointing that out from statements people have made in the past, where they said that the reason why they can't break is because Nigeria is the same, because the northern Nigeria will suffer if Nigeria breaks. Do you get what I mean now? So this is wrong. This is not true. The criminals who are stealing the money, they are protected by Nigeria. Do you understand? They are protected. Majority of them right now don't even live in the north. From their state capital to Abuja, they live in Abuja. And from Abuja, they go to this like they are visiting their states. Or they are protected by this contraption that they could get away with that. But with a segmented where everybody go back to their own region to run things, right? In your own way. You can't run away anywhere. Are you going to live Enugu, the capital of the East. Are you going to leave Enugu and start, as a governor in Enugu, administrator in Enugu, and or in the East, and you are going to go and be living in Lagos, and you are going to go back to that place? That's not going to happen. So this can bring about a healthy competition. This one that they have managed to politically structure Nigeria in a way that the commercial center, what do you call it? The heartbeat of the economy is located in a place, while the other areas are just left to rot away, right? If you are running your own affair, right, in that sense, people in the East, they will develop the area. People in the West will stay and develop. The people in the North, and those who want to travel to any of those places to do their business can do the same if Nigeria ever break. This will be healthier. This can bring about, a competitive development across board. And indeed, right, anyone who then tolerates or pampers their own criminals, they will have themselves to blame without pointing fingers and say, oh, you caused it, that one caused it, this or that. You know what I mean? Like you have right now. All right. So the idea of Tifnubu going for third term or ruling for life that you are hearing now, right? It's like you're going to hear that for a long time if they fail to stop him in 2027 as they are planning. Bugaje says something about that. Like Obasanjo that seemed to have more clout than Tifnumbu tried it and he failed. Talking about third term, as El Rufai has said, that Tifnumbu has, they are seeing all the point, they are seeing all the sign that Tifnumbu will likely perpetuate himself in power. How? As how now? But again, right? Here, Bugaje.
I can confirm to you that Obasanjo looked for a third term. He did everything that he could within his power to get third term. He failed to do so. Now, the fact that he did not take a telephone to make a particular call to anybody, or he did not put anything in writing on third term, is not sufficient evidence that he did not look for third term. It's just simply the style. It's a matter of style. But all of us in the National Assembly at that time knew beyond any doubt that he worked day and night. And many of us were threatened by his own agents. And there were people who suffered different type of harm. I recall Senator Victor Lar, then the member of the House, and then the leader of the Northern Caucus of the House of Representatives, before a conference, had to hide in a number of places before we eventually were able to hold one critical gathering that actually helped us to galvanize the country in terms of standing up against Obasanjo's wish to have a third term. So, there are so many evidences, and these people who actually distributed the money and threatened us are still alive. Those who received the money are alive. Those who refused to receive the money are alive. There is sufficient evidence. I think Obasanjo should really come back to his senses and begin to see what contribution he can make to improve his country. But this is a matter that is incontrovertible.
Okay.
There is no way he can avoid it. He has done it.
Well, Dr. Bugaje, President Obasanjo threw a challenge in Ghana and said, whoever has any evidence to the contrary as to what he said should come out. You are the first to come out. You should expect a response from President Obasanjo because he may take you up.
I don't know if some of you remember that period. So Obasanjo convened a national conference. Okay, just similar one I'm trying to say they should do, call conference and adopt it. It's a long process, right? But it is the closest thing that you can get to having an idea of what people want or how they want the country to be governed, which should have been the base or the basis for any form of system you want to build up in a country. People have to agree to these terms and all of that, all their input and everything considered, adopted, will now be the system you build on. Say, what kind of system are you running here? Our system. So Obasanjo convened one in 2005. Okay. And they brought people from all over the country to represent everybody from the country, every tribe, ethnic, religious, age grade, age groups, and all that stuff. And they deliberated for months. They were paid hundreds of millions of naira. Good money. They all suggested all the ideas, what should be done to thieves, how police should be independent, how police IG should be nominated, how the chief justice of the country should emerge, what kind of elections and how the elections should be conducted, their resource control, how much of the control should the locals have over their resources, and how much of that should be given to the center. All these ideas, how many times should a governor spend in office? How many times should a president spend in office? All those ideas, we brought them together. Then in the middle of this deliberation, from nowhere, a group started pushing for third term, like in the constitution, in that deliberation, they wanted third terms for the president. That was the genesis. So he got knocked down to just 6 years, single term. If you want to be governor, it's just 6 years. If you want to be president, it's just 6 years. If you can't do what you want to do for 6 years, there is no second term. And the presidency will be going from one region to the other. Because of third term, Obasanjo buried that report. The entire money they spent on the conference, the entire deliberation, all the good stuffs, they begged him. They begged Obasanjo that even if you are not going to adopt everything from the conference, read the reports. Pick some of them. They are needed in Nigeria. They are this. Rather than that, he just went straight to the National Assembly. Baba, they started sharing money back then, 50 million naira. I don't know how many of you remember. There is this guy called Sule Mantu. What's his name again? Ibrahim Mantu. Remember Ibrahim Mantu? He was the head of the Obasanjo's lobbyists at the National Assembly, right? They brought Ghana Must Go money, raw cash. Not one, no, not two, more than 15 bags of money was brought. They brought them to the National Assembly chamber like this as the bribes given to them by Obasanjo's men. He denied, and every now and then he keeps bragging that if he wanted third term, he would have gotten it, right? So it was said then at the time, one of the Obasanjo's men, I can't remember his name now. So one of them said they accused us of collecting money for third term. Those who rejected third term, did they not collect money too? Yeah, they collected money too, right? Because that then they were funded. The rejection of that third term was funded by Atifku. That's one of the reasons why Obasanjo said he would never forgive Atifku. And he told everybody that the kind of money Atifku stole, that if Obasanjo had allowed Atifku to succeed him, God will not forgive him. No, it's not just about the money they all stole. I mean, they all looted. They both stole it, right? No. It is more about, the first time when Obasanjo wanted to go for second term, right? They said because Obasanjo did not tell them early enough. So there were more than 20 state governors, PDP governors, and even governors from other parties who were Atifku's friend. And they wanted Atifku to run for president in 2003. That it's took Obasanjo prostrating for Atiku to leave him and let him run the second term. And that was the reason why immediately after their elections in 2003, the problem between himself and Atiku kicked off. He wanted Atiku removed totally. I don't know if you know the story. So the second time Atiku bruised his ego was when they said Atiku funded the rejection of the third term. The rest is history today. Obasanjo, he is still doubling down. This is what he said on the matter in Ghana 2 days ago.
There are still some stupid Nigerians who still believe that I wanted a third term. I think I'm not a fool. If I wanted a third term, I know how to go about it. And there's no Nigerian, dead or alive, that will say I called him, I told him I wanted a third term. None. And I keep telling them that, look, if I wanted to get debt relief, which is more difficult than getting a third term, and I got it, if I wanted a third time, I would have got it. But some people believe that unless they are there, nobody else. They will even tell you that they haven't got anybody else. And I believe that that is a sin against God.
OBJ, some stupid Nigerians. He was so angry that many of his supposed, super ministers who were closer to him in this government that he could have raised as his own successor to help him push whatever other reform he was doing at the time. He was so enraged that he had to go and drag a dying Yar'Adua. Why did he choose Yar'Adua to become the PDP candidate and eventual president? Because he was terminally ill. Yar'Adua knew. Obasanjo knew. He got his intel. Somebody who was not interested in the PDP, what have you done? He dragged him back into it. And people accused him of maybe he was hoping, because his last resort to stay on in office, Obasanjo, was if the candidate of a major political party should die in the middle of election, in the middle of campaign for election. So they would have to postpone the election for a year, allow the party concerned mourn and replace the candidates before the next election. I don't know how true that was, but that was what they were saying, right? Again, the rest is history today. Yar'Adua became the president. He was really unwell. But he took some decisions that people felt like it was good. Some were good and some were really bad, which includes his decision to stop Obasanjo's power project that they currently now use to taunt him. Obasanjo was building about 11 power stations at the time simultaneously, which ordinarily could have helped to boost Nigeria power generation and distribution. Yar'Adua stopped it for like 2 years. It was Jonathan that started retouching them again and started kind of like working to complete them. Maybe Bugaje finally completed some. Don't know. Obasanjo. He messed up what could have been, a change that Nigeria needed at the time. A change from the military democracy that they foisted on the country to something that can be like close to what people wanted or desired. No system is perfect, right? But a system that is so alien to the people, enough that you can easily tell that some are even saying that Nigeria is too big for them to govern. I'm like, no, because they are lawless people. They are criminals. Where rule of law is dead, right? There's nothing there that matters, not even anybody's life. That's what they have turned that contraption to. Yeah? So true federalism You're never going to get that. Obasanjo, who felt like he was the only person who loved Nigeria the most, he is the only one who knows who can do better if it is not him. But he lost his entire mojo when he decided to burn the same house that made him the second time. At least you can say that. Burn it for the APC.